The former Australian Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull brokered the subs deal when he was in office. He's currently at the Glasgow Climate Summit in his capacity as the chair of Australian Fortescue Future Industries. Malcolm Turnbull, thanks for being with us. First, just on the submarines, France is not a particularly tight ally of Australia. It's not the UK or the US. What is the potential fallout for Australia from a frosty relationship with France?
Well, look, I think it's been a very shameful episode, as I've said earlier, and at some length. You know, it's a breach of trust, a breach of faith, and it has damaged Australia's reputation for trustworthiness, which is a very important asset, whether it's in relations between nations or in business or personal life. So
it's not specifically that having a fallout with France causes problems, it's more the broader reputational issue, you're saying?
It's all of them. It's both. It's all of it. It's a big issue, and you know, I've spoken at length about it, Lee, and you know, the ramifications of this breach of trust, acting in bad faith. I mean, it's a big deal, and it's a shameful episode.
You're in Glasgow on climate change. The US president today criticised China and Russia for not attending the summit. What impact do you think it has on the global effort without their participation in this event?
Well, it would be better if they were here, but the most important thing is, what are they doing? Now, you know, the critical thing is concerted global effort. China has increased its commitments to cut emissions. I mean, Russia has too, for that matter. But, you know, talk is one thing, doing is the other. What I'm here focused on are the keys to addressing what I'd call the crisis within the energy crisis, which is the need for long duration storage. So whether it is green hydrogen, which of course, you know, Andrew Forrest is leading the charge here. I mean, he is literally leading globally here in Glasgow on green hydrogen. It's an enormous effort. That's a big part of it. And of course, pumped storage, hydro, is another part of it. And I'm also here with the International Hydropower Association. So, you know, my goal here is to get more determination and conviction to make renewables reliable with the tools, the technologies that are here now. We don't have to wait for them to, you know, have clean, green, affordable energy, and we can do all of that. And it's doable. It just needs planning and commitment.
The private sector, in many ways, has led government on this issue for quite a while. Do you think that that's going to continue being the case?
Well, certainly in Australia, at the federal level, I think it will. I mean, you have, look, the federal government's position here is very disappointing. You know, whether it is the failure to increase its 2030 target from what we took to Paris in 2015, or even, you know, at the Australian Pavilion here, as I'm sure you've seen, you know, the most prominent part of that is a promotion from Santos, a gas company, spruiking their, you know, plans for carbon capture and storage, a technology on which we've all, you know, the nations have spent billions, including Australia, and which hardly ever works.
One of the concrete emissions out of the Glasgow summit is to cut methane emissions. Australia didn't sign up to that pledge. Why is that an issue for Australia?
Well, look, this is a global effort. I mean, Australia's never been more out of step on a global issue with its friends and allies than it is on climate. That's been clear for some time. Methane is the emission of methane, much of it leaking from natural gas, extraction, and fugitive emissions from coal mines and so forth. That is making an enormous contribution to global warming now, and we have to address it. It's been a bit overlooked, to be honest, in the past. So it's very sad that Australia isn't pulling its weight on that issue.
How would you judge the Glasgow summit as having been a success or not? We've been told repeatedly for a long time that it's really important, but what does a successful outcome look like?
Well, look, it's not going to be a catastrophe like Copenhagen. It may not be as successful and inspirational as Paris, but there are a lot of good things being done. The agreement to address deforestation. You know, now again, that's very good. The constant focus on green hydrogen is another. You know, the initiative on methane emissions is another. Too bad that Australia isn't part of it. You know, I think the profiling of business here is very important. You're absolutely right. The business community is well ahead of most governments and way ahead of our national government, although you do have much stronger commitment to climate action in Australia at the state level. So, you know, New South Wales alone has a 50% cut in emissions by 2030 as their target. I mean, if only the same commitment to protecting our planet was felt in Canberra as it is in Sydney.
Malcolm Turnbull, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Lee.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.